Tom Philabaum. I'm a glass blower and an artist and the owner of Philabaum Glass Gallery, and I'm a designer and a fabricator and a teacher and a father and a mother and a husband and all that stuff. We can probably get it on the drop. Then bring it over, hold it high, and I'll do a two-sider. Towards the end of my undergraduate studies, I discovered ceramics, and I started to hand build sculptures in clay. Well, after I graduated, I took a job teaching in St. Louis, Missouri, and I was an art teacher, and by night I took graduate classes in ceramic sculpture. And one night at my graduate class, my teacher said, "Philabaum, your ideas are too fluid for clay. Why don't you try working in glass?" And my hair stood on end, and I said, "What do you mean glass?" Well, soon he hooked me up with a professor in Madison, Wisconsin named Harvey Littleton, who had started a glass program for graduate students. Well, you start with a hollow tube called a blowpipe. It's hollow, it's made out of stainless steel, it's really sturdy, and you heat up the tip of that rod so that the glass will be accepted under the blowpipe. So once the tip is warm, then you can go in and gather the glass like honey from a honey pot on the end of your pipe, and then you can go back to your bench and shape it and blow it. And that's basically how you do the first gather. And then successive gathers of glass with layers of color are added, and the whole thing is blown out and shaped. And then after you make a piece, you have to take it off the pipe and put it into an oven and let it anneal at 917 degrees Fahrenheit for 16 to 20 hours. I've been diagnosed with Parkinsons. I really had no intention of retiring, but I'm changing somewhat because of the disease, and glass blowing is really not a really good activity for people who have this condition. So that's what really catapulted me to make the decision. But I'm not going to stop making art. I'm just going to stop working with hot molten glass out of a furnace. I'll still continue to use my equipment and make fused glass paintings and drawings and stuff like that. I realized that change was inevitable. So I called the company meeting and I told everybody in my group what was up. And then I spent about a month just studying on the internet and through books and magazines about Parkinson's and what it is and what happens and what you can do and what you can't do. And then after a month of intensive study, my life sort of slid back into normal, and I've been blowing glass and doing everything. I'd like to thank Tucson for supporting me all these years. It's been a great ride. I'll never regret moving from Chicago to Tucson and raised my family here, and I'm just proud to be a part of the Tucson art community.